Now on CoastTV News.
Reversing auto rules, that could be the result for Delaware's plans to drive sales of electric vehicles. Ditching red dye, Delaware lawmakers target the food coloring chemical found in foods and drinks sold in schools.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to Coast TV News Midday. Happening now, Senate Republican leaders in Delaware are backing Governor Matt Meyer's opposition to Delaware's electric vehicle mandate. Meyer has reportedly said he plans to scrap the rule, which was adopted under the previous Carney administration. It would require 43% of new cars sold in the state by 2027 to be zero emission. In response, Senate Republican Brian Pettyjohn has circulated an updated bill to block that mandate. And a Delaware bill is pushing to keep red dye 40 out of schools has cleared the legislative hurdle. Senate Bill 69 would ban foods and drinks with synthetic dye from being sold during the school day in public and charter schools. It passed the state Senate and now heads to the House. Red dye 40 is found in products such as cereal, popsicles, chips, dairy products, and more. The bill has been assigned to the House Education Committee. And there will be increased patrols across Maryland this weekend. Maryland State Police say they will focus on impaired and aggressive driving during Cinco de Mayo weekend. On the Eastern Shore, troopers from Berlin, Easton, Princess Anne, and Salisbury Barracks will be posted along routes 13, 50, 404, and 413. And we're now going to take a live look outside at Rehoboth Beach, and this already is looking like a popular spot today. And First Alert meteorologist Bob Trey, he's going to tell us why people may be headed to the beach today. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Elisa. Yes, I am seeing activity on that camera right there. And for good reason, it feels more like June 2nd instead of May 2nd, because look at these temperatures flirting with 80 degrees in a lot of places. Bridgeville and Redden at 79, Millsboro at 78, 78 in Willards. Even at the beaches with an offshore wind, you're at 79 in Rehoboth and Lewis at 77, as we have a southwesterly breeze right now, a little stronger at the coast. It's gusting to 18 miles per hour, Indian River Inlet and Millsboro, and gusts to 21 in Ocean City right now. Otherwise, we're seeing a mix of sun and clouds, nothing in the way of precipitation across Delmarva as a warm front continues to lift to the north, and that's ushering in that summer-like air and humidity. And a few pop-up showers now across the mountains, and we could see one of those later this afternoon, very isolated. Here's Futurecast at noon, lower 80s inland, 60s and 70s at the coast. I think it'll top out in the 70s at the beaches, but inland, the heat is on. 85 Millsboro, Georgetown, Seaford around 86, so very toasty as we go late afternoon, and do watch for an isolated shower or thunderstorm as we go into the evening hours and staying very mild. Otherwise, beautiful day, temperatures into the 80s and a very pleasant Friday evening on the way. Saturday's another warm day, and then it looks like rain chances begin on Sunday and they last for a few days. I'll talk about that in my full forecast a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. In order to protect its environment, Lewis is proposing what's called a resiliency fund to be used to prevent and react to natural disasters. The city wants to take money from existing sources like property taxes and parking revenue and set it aside for fixing infrastructure and responding to storm damage. Lewis says they want to build a fund of $3 to $5 million in the next 5 to 7 years. And we went to Lewis to learn what people think about this fund.
If we want to still have a wonderful area, a wonderful earth, period, we need to do something about it. Take better care.
People can submit their comments on the city's website until today at 4 p.m. At this time, it's unclear if Lewis will raise taxes elsewhere to generate more money for this resiliency fund, but we do know they want the money to come from existing resources, such as a percentage of the gross rental tax receipts and lodging fees as a part of the Chesapeake Utilities, who runs natural gas in Lewis. In developing news out of Delaware, there is an attempt in the General Assembly to ban private detention facilities in the state. On Thursday, House Bill 151 was introduced, and Democratic State Rep. Claire Schneider Hall of Rehoboth Beach is a co-sponsor. That bill is now under review in the Judiciary Committee. And we are now taking a live look outside at Washington, D.C. Business leaders are sounding the alarm over President Trump's tariffs as more are set to kick in on Saturday. The president softened some of those auto tariffs earlier this week, but analysts say the overall impact of the on and off again tariffs are taking a toll. Today we get a check on the overall health of the economy in this NBC News report.
We have prom.
Business leaders from across the country sounding the alarm over President Trump's tariffs.
Everything that is imported from another country. adding anywhere from 10 to 20% on every one of our invoices.
Tariffs are just...
In a letter to the administration, Suzanne Clark, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, warns many small businesses will suffer irreparable harm if exclusions aren't made for them. Though it's not just small businesses that are feeling the heat.
The demand is way down. Now, a lot of that is, I think, the consumer reaction to the tariffs.
While the panic spreads as more tariffs are set to go into effect Saturday, the message from the president is still optimistic. In an address Thursday night, he told college graduates at the University of Alabama that the tariffs are working as intended.
It's making us very rich, and you'll be seeing the results pretty soon, sooner than most people think.
However, members of his own party acknowledge the ripple effects the tariffs are having on the economy, like stocks initially taking a tumble earlier this week, after data revealed the economy contracted in the first quarter of the year.
Some of this is clearly a reaction to the uncertainty on taxes and trade. I mean, it's indisputable. So we got to work on it.
Meanwhile, Trump blamed what he called the Biden overhang for the market reaction, though Wall Street did eventually recover those losses. Now, all eyes are on Friday's monthly jobs report, which could offer clues on where the economy is headed. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.
Coming up after the break, shopping in the sun. We'll give you a look at the sidewalk sale going on right now in Rehoboth Beach. Happening now, the 42nd annual Spring Sidewalk Sale is going on in Rehoboth Beach. It's hosted by the Rehoboth Beach Dewey Beach Chamber of Commerce, and the sale features shops putting out their merchandise on the sidewalk from today until Sunday. This event will go rain or shine, and one person living in Rehoboth Beach says that people will come no matter the weather.
One way or the other, they'll either stop here first and buy, and then hopefully move over to the Art League.
And businesses we spoke with tell us they hope good weather will boost their sales. And bikers will take to the streets for the Ocean to Bay tour in Sussex County, happening today and tomorrow. Almost 2,000 bikers will cycle through Bethany Beach, Fenwick Island, Ocean View, and other Sussex County communities. The Bethany Fenwick Chamber of Commerce says the highest traffic volume can be expected from 8 a.m. to noon on Saturday, May 3rd. And tomorrow, it's the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby, and you can catch all of that celebration live right here on Coast TV News at 2:30.
Man, it looks like the track's going to be a little wet for the Derby. Not wet for us today. Got our helmet cam in Ocean View 79. Surprised not to see more boats out there. It's gorgeous with temperatures in the lower 80s, even at the beaches today. It's going to be in the 80s again heading into your Saturday. Cooler on Sunday with showers increasing, and that rain continues into a part of next week. So it's a good time to win an umbrella. That's exactly what Rose Sterling from Bridgeville did. Congratulations to her from Coast TV and Paul Davis. Your full forecast is coming up next. Our weather heading into the weekend, not too shabby. It's not bad for May 2nd. Feeling more like June out there right now. Here's our Tyndall's Casual Furniture camera in Laurel. 76 with the southwesterly breeze. Good visibility. It definitely has that summer feel, and we will be into the 80s for highs as we go through the afternoon. Mid-80s, I believe, away from the coast. I think it will be a little cooler at the beaches, probably 70s there, and maybe an isolated storm as we go into the evening hours. So not a bad idea to have the Coast TV weather app with you. Check out the radar and make sure that you're safe if we do see a pop-up shower or storm. Saturday is dry, I think, with temperatures in the 80s. Then Sunday, we'll be looking at cooler conditions with 70s and some scattered showers. But look at this, almost 80 degrees in a lot of places like Millsboro and Milton and Redden. 79 there, 79 in Seaford and Bridgeville. So, in fact, look at Rehoboth on the beach right now, 80 degrees, 78 in Bethany Beach, as we have a southwesterly breeze right now at around 6 to 14 miles per hour, and at times gusting over 20 miles per hour in Ocean City. But it's a warm and somewhat muggy breeze as we go into the afternoon. Here's a visible satellite picture seeing, we'll call it partly cloudy skies, some mid to high level clouds floating through right now. We had a warm front lift from south to north across Delmarva through the overnight, and now it's moving into the northeast. So we're on the warm side of this front, obviously, with a very warm summer-like air mass to the south and west. That's That's why we have these orange arrows. And we're seeing a few showers popping up from Pennsylvania into the mountains of North Carolina. And with the heating of the day, it's possible we could see that isolated shower or storm. But the more important rain and storms are farther back to the west through Texas into the middle Mississippi Valley. And of course, we've got the Derby going on, the Kentucky Derby this weekend. And I think that track is going to be a little wet as we go through the weekend. But not for us this afternoon. Here's noon on Futurecast. Lower 80s inland, 60s and 70s at the beaches. And I think most beach locations will be in the 70s. However, Rehoboth and Lewis, mid to upper 80s, mid 80s inland areas this afternoon. So dress for summer. Make sure you stay hydrated. Here's 4:30, 86 in Delmarva and Millsboro with 60s and 70s at the coast. And aside from that evening shower or storm, I think you're fine for your plans this Friday evening as it stays very mild through the overnight. In fact, by tomorrow morning, much like this morning, 60s and 70s, and then those temperatures off to the races again tomorrow with mid 80s. I think we're staying dry inland areas and cooler at the coast and still pretty muggy into tomorrow evening as we see a southwesterly wind up to about 25 miles per hour today. And as we move into your Saturday, still gusty, gusting up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So breezy and very warm into your Saturday. Then we're watching a cutoff area of low pressure, basically low pressure separated from the jet stream. That's going to meander to our west Sunday through Tuesday, meaning scattered showers. It will be damp, cooler, and kind of cloudy through that period. But I think we keep Saturday dry, but then Saturday evening, you see showers and storms to our north and west. They kind of retreat, but then the showers move back in, I think, on Sunday. We'll be seeing varying intensities of this rain as we go Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. At times, maybe a little heavier, maybe some rumbles of thunder, too. And then that system will exit by Wednesday, as we could see at least 3/4 of an inch of rain, some places picking up over an inch, I believe, by the middle of next week. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, mid-80s today and tomorrow. Mild at night, too. And then the showers on Sunday, 77. Looks like a wetter Cinco de Mayo on Monday, 73. Still kind of rainy on Tuesday with mid-70s, and then drying out Wednesday with a mix of sun and clouds in upper 70s, and dry and pleasant into Thursday.
Thank you, Bob. And here's what you can expect later this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Coming up today on Coast Life, we have a lot of great topics to cover.
We do.
I'm going to talk to a horse, like directly to a horse. We got to get his opinion on who maybe you should be looking at for winners in the Derby.
Ooh, can't wait for that. Also, can't wait to check in with our friends at the Milton Theater. They're always up to something fun, something glamorous, and that's what we'll get when we get the details of Bear, a pop opera.
And it's been a good week, but who were the winners of the week? That's something we still have to decide. You're going to want to tune in, see who gets our big prizes for our Friday winners of the week.
They are such big prizes. All that fun is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Tidal Health is adding another hospital to its roster. Leaders signed an official agreement to merge with Atlantic General Hospital in Berlin. Officials say that partnership will expand services at Atlantic General through increased funding and updated equipment. Tidal Health CEO says all patients will be transferred over electronically.
We want care close to home, and we want to figure out the services that people need in the Atlantic General service area. We want to add physicians, add capabilities. If people need surgery, do more operations here on this campus.
AGH will be renamed to Tidal Health Atlantic once that transition is complete, and officials say they expect that to take around 10 months. And amusement park fans need to hurry and get their final thrills at Six Flags America in Bowie, Maryland, because the amusement park will be closed for good at the end of the season. Hurricane Harbor will also be closing. The parent company of Six Flags says the roughly 500-acre property will be marketed for redevelopment. The park first opened as a wildlife preserve in 1974, but later became Six Flags America in 1999. The park's final day will be in early November. And coming up after the break, Bike More, Bike Safely. We'll tell you how Maryland and Delaware are highlighting this initiative all month long. Bike More and Bike Safely. That's the focus of an initiative in Maryland and Delaware. For the month of May, both states are encouraging locals to bike to work and school. And in Maryland, people can learn commuter tips and tricks in a webinar. And coming up tonight on DSN at 5:30, Girls Lacrosse as Kent Island takes on Queen Anne's. Then catch the final score at 10:30. And on the DSN Plus app, you get that Girls Lacrosse game along with these exclusives. At 5:30, those same schools meet in Boys Lacrosse. And at 6, North Dorchester faces Cambridge, South Dorchester.
It's a beautiful day to be on the water. Not seeing any boats right now on the Tunnel and Razor Cam. Probably will this weekend with lower 80s expected there this afternoon, mid 80s inland. And we're going to do it again tomorrow with temperatures into the 80s. However, cooler on Sunday with increasing shower chances, and that rain chance continues into next week. Remember to call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone for your forecast, the updated forecast. The number is 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico. I'll have your wetter 10-day forecast coming up next. We're starting to see more and more 80-degree readings showing up. We've got 80 in Seaford and Rehoboth and Milton and Bridgeville now. Getting close in Millsboro and Longneck at 79. So we're in the 70s to near 80 degrees at the beaches. Ocean City, I don't know if that temperature is accurate, 66, but we'll be well into the 70s and 80s as we go into the afternoon hours. Looking great for boating, any outdoor chores you have. Just remember to stay hydrated with water and wear this light summer clothing as temperatures get into the mid 80s with a gusty southwesterly wind, and then mild through the evening hours and staying dry for the most part, but there could be an isolated pop-up shower or thunderstorm after 3 o'clock today. Otherwise, we're in good shape right through Saturday. Another warm day, 86 and then cooling to 77 on Sunday with showers, and then Cinco de Mayo looking kind of wet too with 73, and that rain lingers into Tuesday. We dried out Wednesday and Thursday, maybe another chance by Friday.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. And for more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget to join us for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.